Hi, it's Martin Root with Project Heaven on Earth. I have a very dear friend today, Runa Bouius. Runa and I met in Santa Fe, New Mexico many years ago, became very close friends. And then she moved away and I moved away. And we've, over the years, been connected from time to time. And recently, we connected again, and she started to speak to me about her new work. And her new work has to do with power. But what she was saying about power was so original and so earth-shattering, mind-blowing for me. And it had such a profound effect on me that I wanted to share her and her thinking and her soul with you. So welcome, Runa.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. Talk to me about how we traditionally think about power.
I think we traditionally think about power as people in power position, leaders, positional power. We could say people with ranks. Think of presidents or generals or people who hold big leadership positions. I think we kind of place power in that area, and we as just regular people kind of think that we don't have any power. So to us, power can be threatening because it is something we don't have and it's external to us, and often we are at the mercy of that external power because often power is being used unwisely.
Brilliant. And I certainly, before we had our talk, certainly thought to a great extent unconsciously, but when you brought it to attention in the way you're doing now, I thought, yeah, she's right. So, okay, that's a traditional way of thinking about power that many of us have. And now you've come along and said, well, there's another way to look at power, and you call it true power. Talk to us about that.
Right. But maybe I should start with the word power as a foundation of this. And I'm looking to shamanism, to their definition of power, which is energy. So power is simply energy. It's not good or not bad. It's just neutral. What we do with it determines whether it ends up having a good or a positive effect on ourselves and others. So power is really a kind of a drive or a force that enables us to do things, enables us to have influence, to have impact, to make things happen, to avoid things to happen. It's actually, the word power is derived from Latin, potere, which means to be able to.
Right.
So it gives us kind of this drive to be able to do something. And we need that because I look at life as a game, if you can think of that. I mean, we have to. Things are so serious and so horrible in the world. Why not think of put a little bit of humor, which the Native Americans do as well, put a humor into the equation and look at life as a game. And the game is about power. Because in order to survive and to thrive, we are always, from the time we are born, we are looking to expanding our power, starting with our first breath. We don't, and this is what people don't really understand. They think power is outside of me. I don't want to touch it because it's evil. But the fact is, every single day we are dealing with power. Every single minute we are dealing with power.
When I really stop, as I did in the previous conversation with you, our private conversation, to think about that, that's deeply profound for me. From a relationship with power in which it is external, it is power over me, it is something that I have no agency in, yes. To know, yes, that is one way of thinking, but it's a distorted way, to the phrase that you use, true power, because each of us does have power. And if it's neutral, then the decision about what to do with that power is where what you're talking about comes into play.
Right. And in order to be able to do something with it, we have to realize that we have it. And that's where the true comes in. To me, true power is really a connection to source. That when we understand that we have a connection to something bigger than ourselves, whatever we call that, the Tao, the universe, the big mind, God, there are endless words to describe that. I refer to it as source. That when we realize that we have access to source, that increases our potential to have power. And then I want to add to that and say, what if we are source? What if we are source, we are consciousness? How powerful are we then? Because we look to God to make our prayers come true. But what if I am God and I can create whatever it is that is in my mind?
I remember Marianne Williamson. Do you remember that famous thing? One of the fears or major fears that we have in life is the fear of our own power, our own ability.
Right.
Part for me of heaven on earth is a rekindling, a reestablishment, a re-getting in touch with our agency. I've been saying it through the power of declaration, of saying so, saying we are co-creating heaven on earth. To get in touch with that true power that's in us, talk about how we can do more of that.
I think there are various ways to do that. My favorite way, one of my favorite ways, is to be out in nature. Nature is so powerful, and I think everyone who goes out and spends any time in nature comes back refreshed, energized, optimistic, uplifted, and that's the power of nature. Another way is to spend time with children, because children are, they have not put the lens of the illusion on yet, so they are so connected to source, that they are source. We are looking at these children playing and being creative, and it's source playing. And we lose that when we start to get imprinted from our culture and our society. So the idea is to get back to that. We can do practices like Qigong and Tai Chi, which are energy practices where we are cultivating energy, literally building energy up. We are storing it, we are circulating it in our system, and then we are able to pull on it, to use it for external purposes.
I remember after our conversation about this, it was as though something clicked in my mind. Something went, like a switch went bang. And I physically felt power coming into me. And what was so strong and powerful for me was, oh yeah, I didn't ever get it in that way. And that's why I think your work is so powerful, that if I just get now in touch with my power, so you watching, same thing, forget your mind, just get in touch with your power and allow that to grow and allow that to contribute to heaven on earth, which is the next question I want to go to with you. How do you see your work tying into the manifestation of heaven on earth?
I think it's completely linked, because if we are source, if true power is our connection to source, or helping us to understand, believe, and feel that we are source, and source can do anything. And if we want heaven on earth right here and right now, we have the power to do so. I think it's really a part of the process is also a mindset shift.
Yes.
That we have to believe that we have more power, or we are power, and not only believe it, but do exactly what happened to you, to feel it. And that might take some time for people to literally feel into that. But once you start feeling it, you can feel a kind of pulse within you, then you start to trust it. And then you can use it more vitally in your decision making and in your creation.
What you said to me was, do you remember? You are power. Mm-hmm. So I say that now to you watching. You are power. That had such a profound effect on me, because I could literally feel is a good word here, the non-power thing, it just evaporated.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to share your work with people, you are power, and then to the use of that to help you create heaven on earth for your life, your relationships, your work, your business, your nation, and our world collectively. Have you looked, by the way, at collective power?
Collective power comes into this. That's one form of power. Social power is another one. And ancestral power is another one. There are so many different categories of power.
Love it.
But for this particular purpose, is because you're focusing on creating heaven on earth, I thought the true power notion would be mostly linked with what you are trying to do, which is really mindset shift, helping people to understand that they are so much more powerful than they think they are. And we don't have to go to heaven to create that heaven. We have heaven here on earth.
One of the things in the early days of heaven on earth, when I talk to people about where is heaven, heaven is after death, upstairs, God and the angels. But the traditional assumption is not here, not now. So in addition to upstairs, in addition to after death, here, now. So this is a question that I can hear my mind going, don't ask her that, don't ask her. So I want to ask you that. The distinction for you between, to say you are God, some people might find that offensive or difficult to grasp. Speak more about, because I personally don't believe that I am God. I'm a manifestation of God. That makes sense to me. So I'm assuming you've thought about this too.
Well, maybe if we replace the word God with consciousness or awareness, would you say that you are awareness?
Yep.
So
that fits. That I can.
Exactly. So words are man-made. We have made these words, and then we put belief behind them. And I totally get. To me, I was brought up Christian in Iceland, and so the word God is this big mighty thing. So it has been difficult for me to through the years to grapple with how can I be God. But once it's put into a form of higher mind or source or awareness or consciousness, it's much easier for me to accept it and to claim it.
I have a friend here, Mark Belfry, who says it's all God. And I thought that was very powerful. I still have a kind of a separation between me and God. That might be phony too. If it's all God, then I'm a manifestation of God. That makes more sense to me. And if such, when you say you are power, to allow the increasing full expression of that intrigues me. I mean, clearly not more than intrigues me. I'm in that game.
Right.
And
it's really claiming, it's claiming who you truly are.
Yes. Now that is a perfect place to end our interview. Claiming who you truly are by realizing and expressing you are true power. Runa, thank you, my love. People want more information on you. How do we do that?
They can go to my website, www.truepowerinstitute.com.
Truepowerinstitute.com, and we'll put that up on the screen.
Yeah, or they can find me on social media under Runa Bouius.
And we'll put that spelling as well.
Wonderful.
Thank you
for having me.
Thank you. A delight. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.